In 1829, 15-year-old Louis Braille invents the Braille alphabet for people who are visually impaired. 150 years later, the Canadian National Institute for the Blind, the CNIB, is striding ahead in leaps and bounds. Louis Braille's discovery was so impressive, its impact was felt throughout the world. Today, the CNIB's Library for the Blind has garnered international praise for the way in which it's harnessed technology. In the next few minutes, you'll see how the CNIB Library and its partners are paving the way for information equity. Why don't you come along for the ride? The Library for the Blind was founded in 1906 by Edgar Robinson, the first blind graduate of a Canadian university. Back then, the library started with a collection of 81 Braille books for a group of 26 people.
There are more than 500,000 blind and print handicapped Canadians, and the mission of the CNIB Library for the Blind, that's us, is to ensure that they have access to lifelong learning and the information and library services that they need to improve their lives. And we do this through our Library Without Walls.
CNIB's Library for the Blind is one of the most important things that's happened, and it's coming up to being a century old, and it's a marvelous century, starting with very small amounts of information and reaching the stage where we are today. It's a miraculous vista. We've gone through the era of Braille, talking books, and now computer data. And information used to take weeks to get to people. It now takes less than seconds.
When I was beginning to practice with the government, it was volunteers again with the CNIB's transcription service and the library that produced the first Braille copy of the Income Tax Act Canada that I think had ever been produced, transcribing each page out. That was a lot of labor, I guess a lot of love, a lot of dedication anyway, from people at the CNIB.
This year, my French book and my mathematics book and my science book were all brailled by CNIB. And also, for things like research projects, I can just phone in and ask for any material that may be available on a certain topic and can expect to pick it up within a couple of days.
Many of the authors of children's books are not aware that they are being done in this particular medium. They're probably aware that they're being brailled, but not as print braille books, whereby the braille's actually put in with the print storybook.
And it's very important to be able to access information, because without it, we just wouldn't be able to function in a way that on the level of everyone else in society today.
If they have computers in their own homes that can access in our IRC center, then they can use the newspapers on a daily basis. They cannot, just the way yours and your Globe or your Star comes to your home in the morning, they can access the program here, and they can have it in whatever medium suits them. Large print, a voiceover, a braille display.
I can get most of what's in the Toronto Star electronically on my computer every day. I can get it just about the same time you get it, and I can read the same articles that you're reading.
That's getting to be something that could be practical for me too, that I've had a chance to peek through the newspaper and can participate in those conversations, which contributes enormously to collegiality and to all of those things that happen, that kind of social interaction in and around the job.
About 1,500 to 3,000 new titles on a variety of subjects are added to our collection each year for use in homes, schools, and places of work. And the quality of what we have to offer is bolstered by our partnerships. Partnerships with academic, reference, and public libraries like this one here in North York. And it is these very partnerships which have allowed us to create and expand our resource network.
Public libraries will, and in some cases are, recognizing that they are not obliged, but they have a responsibility to serve the blind members of their community just as much as the seeing members of their community.
And after all, power is issue usually of persuading people to get things done that are necessary to be done.
Through its partnership with libraries, volunteers, and other agencies across the country, the CNIB has set the pace for information equity for visually handicapped people. And because of that, daily lives and ambitions of fellow Canadians continue to improve. From here on in, the ride only gets better.